This podcast is brought to you by sleepyj.com/beats. If you need a beat for your next album, mixtape, or demo project, check out sleepyj.com/beats. That's SLEEPEJ.com/beats. Warning, this podcast may offend some people unintentionally, so if you get offended easily, you're advised to turn this off now. And now, if you're still listening, thanks and enjoy the show. What's up with the world? It's your boy Sleepy J. You tuned in to Sleep Talkin. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for checking me out, guys. What's going on? How's everybody doing? It is a good day. I am here. I did some research. I am ready to do this thing, guys. I have a lot that I kind of want to get into. Hopefully I don't run off in too long of a tangent. Hopefully I don't run through it too fastly. That's one of those things that I have a hard time doing, if you guys don't know, is that I plan out what I want to talk about, and then sometimes I'll run through it so fast, and I was like, oh, that was like a 10-minute thing, and nobody wants to be like hear a podcast for like 10 minutes and then it be over. And then sometimes I run through it so long on my tangents and kind of going off on my own whatever, that sometimes it may have run a little bit longer than most people would have cared for. But anyways, I digress. We're going to keep it moving, guys. It is a good day. I'm excited. I'm seeing this podcast grow. I'm seeing more people paying attention and listening to it, and it's just an amazing thing to watch it happen. So I'm excited about that. So shout out to all my new listeners. Shout out to all the day ones that have been listening since day one. But let's see here, dude. Where should I start? I'm going to talk about some news topics, I guess, is where we'll start out with. Just some things that I've seen in the news in the last week that I just kind of want to touch bases on. Just because I don't want to be on a tangent of all the trash people today, I'm going to go ahead and get them out of the way. So the trash people of the week, because nobody could just be one person. It had to be like 3 people last week. Carl Coupon, if you guys don't know who that is, he's a CVS worker, called the police on a black woman because he thought she was using a fake coupon, which, one, either you say, sorry, we won't take that coupon, or you just take the coupon. It's probably saving you, 50 cents or something? Like, I don't know how much is the coupon really going to save you that you're freaking out about it and that you need to call the cops. Like, seriously, like, that dude's trash as hell. And he's like, if you watch this video, I seen it on Baller Alert, like, dude's like shaking as he's calling the police, like he thought the lady was like going to beat his ass in the middle of him calling the police or something. And she was just cool, calm, and collective, like, I'll be here when they get here. Oh, man, that guy was trash. Let's see, women cops. This week there were some women police officers that got suspended for their body cam footage. Basically, if you guys don't know what happened with them, I think they were in Arizona. I could be wrong, but I think they were in Arizona or somewhere. Obviously, they were somewhere. But these 2 women officers pulled this girl over for speeding, I guess. Or they pulled her over. They were trying to decide what they wanted to give her a ticket for. And they're having this conversation. They flip a coin. Then this flip of the coin app, it was an app, I'm pretty sure. And the flip the coin app is, depending on whether it hit heads or tails, is the charges they were going to give her. And then, like, as the coin results came in, the other was like, hold on, let me write it down. And so she was like writing down all the charges that she was giving the young lady in the back seat, I believe, of her car. Yeah. She, I was just thinking, like, we've been seeing all these officers in the news lately, and most of the time they're men, and they're being really aggressive and things like that. But I was like, not even women are any better. These women officers aren't even any better than the guys at this point. Like, they're even, oh, let's flip a coin, and they're joking and laughing about it to themselves. And I know some officers, they laugh and joke about some of the things that they're doing. Obviously they have a hard job, but I mean, when you have a body camera on, and come on, guys, like, oh man, I don't know. Like, this is always a hard thing. Like, I don't like harping on police officers. I have relatives that were in law enforcement, so I have a hard time just watching these videos and thinking that that these officers are bad people or whatever. And I don't want to say the cliche of like not all officers are bad, and I'm not trying to say even the people that I know aren't doing things, because I don't know. I don't follow them every day. I'm hoping that the people that I know were in law enforcement weren't out here doing questionable things while they were in on duty or doing their due diligence as an officer. Like, I'm hoping that they're doing things by the book. And one thing I do know is some of the things that we see these officers do that we're like, oh, that's so messed up. I can't believe they did this, that, and this and that. Like, I'm finding out just by talking to them in casual conversation that some of that stuff is like by the book. It looks crazy to the outside eye, but when you find out that that's what they're instructed to do, it kind of just makes you think it's crazy or want to know why that's a thing. Like, I was talking to an officer, former officer, and they were telling me that they even to them, they know it's wild to do, but if they shoot a suspect that they were trying to arrest or something, for instance, like say there's a suspect that they're trying to arrest, and the suspect runs or whatever pursues, whether they shoot at them or not, and the officer shoots them in that time, the officer is instructed to put them in handcuffs because your reasoning for shooting at them, or your reasoning for, even if you hit them with the car, whatever the case is, like if you're injured, and whether they know you're alive or not, they're instructed to arrest you because their whole reasoning for interacting with them was to arrest them. And at that point, they're a ward of the state, so their job is to arrest them, which I find it crazy that's the procedure. Because, like, I mean, how many videos have we seen where an officer has shot someone and then they put them in handcuffs? Like, it made sense to me when I've seen it. Well, I'm not going to say it made sense to me. After hearing that this is the procedure you're supposed to do as an officer, like if you shoot somebody that you were trying to arrest and then they put them in handcuffs, like I've seen the outrage of people saying like, this is outrageous, I can't believe they put them in handcuffs, da 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 da. And I can't remember what incident I've seen it in. I remember seeing one somewhere in the last couple years, because obviously we've seen so many of these things in the last few years, that there was a kid that, or there was a man that was shot and they put the handcuffs on him. And I remember seeing everyone outraged and thinking that it was cruel that they put him in handcuffs after he'd already been shot. But after talking to this off-duty former officer recently, and him explaining to me that anytime you're arresting somebody and you're forced to use physical contact, whatever the case may be, or no matter whatever it is, like if you're arresting somebody, you're supposed to put them in handcuffs. So even if they are using physical force to subdue you, whether it be wrestling with you, beating you, shooting you, tasing you, whatever, after that fact, you're supposed to put them in handcuffs because they're a ward of the state. And you're not supposed to really move them either until the medics come, because they have to be checked out by medics, or determined whether they're alive or dead after said incident. So guys, be careful in those situations when you decide to run or whatever the case is. That's something that I never thought about. I've never, feared myself in enough situation to run from the police. But if you are going to run, be aware that, that if they take a shot at you and then they put you in handcuffs, you could bleed out just because you're waiting for an ambulance to, show up on the scene. I don't know. I didn't mean to go off onto that tangent. I apologize. And I know it's probably going to offend some people, but I think it is a weird thing. And this law about, or the rules about that might not necessarily be in every um, state or city. I don't know how the police handbooks go as far as for every city, state, and all that. But in apparently in the subdivision in St. Louis, Missouri, that's what they're instructed to do. Um, that's what it is. I don't know. That's what I was told. I'm just taking it, from their experience from a retired officer. To my knowledge, he never had to do that, but that's what he said that. But he never had to, he never put handcuffs on a body after a situation. As far as I know, he never had to use his firearm while he was on duty. But that's, he was explaining to me, and he expressed to me that he knows it looks crazy to the outside eye, but that's what they're supposed to do. So you guys can take that for whatever it is. But I don't know. I find it interesting that when I talk to my relatives or friends or whatever the case is that are officers or former officers, and they tell me little things like that, just because we're in the state of where we are today with police and brutality. We're always seeing something, and I pick their mind on how they feel about it or what they're thinking about some of these situations, or they'll just tell me a story about while they were on duty, and that's interesting. But all that over, these fuck-ass women police officers that were flipping coins to figure out charges to bring up on a young lady, they're so trash. But another trash incident, I think it happened over the weekend. I think she was Mexican. She was Hispanic of some sort, and she was probably out in California. She got pulled over. She was talking to the officers, and she was explaining to the officer that she went by a certain name. The officer was mad because she had her ID, and her ID had like 3 names on it, which was like a first name and then like a double last name situation. And the young lady was like telling her like, well, that on my ID is my legal name, but I go by this. I told you I go by this name. And the lady officer got so mad. She was like, get out of the car. And like, she just started, well, she didn't even say get out of the car. She just said, you're going to jail, and like started opening the door and trying to rip this young lady out the car. And again, I don't have a vendetta against the police. I don't have a vendetta against anybody doing their job. I was just trying to understand why this officer felt the need to rip the young lady out of her car. Like, you could have simply said, could you please step out of the car, if you felt she was withholding information or doing something wrong. She didn't even ask her to step out of the car. She just forcibly started trying to tear her out of the car, and was like, the girl was screaming, record this, which they were already recording before it even got to that point. But she was screaming for help and for people to be recording it before as she was getting pulled out. But her friend in the back seat, I think it was a friend, someone in the back seat was recording the whole incident, from like her explaining like, I was adopted and I go by this name, and whatever the case is. Like, I've been in all my interactions, if ever a situation was, most officers say, could you step out of the car, please, before they search my car, before they've ever patted me down, before anytime they've ever seen me. They don't just go for pulling me out of the car or whatever the case is. And I've had, I've been pulled over and had guns to my head by the police. I mean, I've been in some really messed up situations, and they still had more decency than this officer that was mad because she had an alias and her two last names that she just was all upset about. Obviously I didn't see why they were messing with her. All I could see was from the point when she was asking her about her name on the ID, and then felt the need to rip her out of the car for lying to her. I just think that officer could have handled that situation better. You could have honestly just said, step out of the car, or walked away, talk to your other supporting officer that was there, explain to them. Maybe he could have came over and told her, maybe asked her, cross-examined her for a quick second about what she was saying if you didn't understand what was going on. But instead, both of you guys just start ripping her out for no fucking reason from what I could see, over her saying, like, I go by this name. It's a shortened name of that name that's on my ID. And, I mean, obviously it wasn't explained as complex as that. Like I said, she said, my name is da-da-da-da-da-da, and I go by this. And it was like, well, this says your name is this. And she's like, yes, I was adopted, and my name is da-da-da-da-da, but I go by this. I don't know. The incident, it was crazy. If you guys really want to see it, go on Baller Alert, look up whatever they posted on Baller Alert Instagram, look up the incident from Saturday or whatever. I'm sure you'll see it on there if you go through all those videos. But I just want to say that officer was trash. So those are my 3 trash news topics of the day. I apologize if I offend anybody. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just talking about things I've seen in the news. Something I really want to get into. I don't know how many of you guys know who Charlemagne the God is. He used to be on Guy Code. He's on The Breakfast Club. He does a lot of different TV shows and things like that nowadays. Like, he's an executive producer. He's got a new show going on HBO soon. But I found this interesting. So last week, probably over the weekend, more than anything, it was more of something over the weekend because I'm sure they cleared it up. Well, I know they cleared it up by Monday, but I wanted to talk about it. I find this interesting. So Charlemagne had some rape charges. He's not been one person to shy away about his rape allegations that he's been through. He's talked about it on the radio multiple times. He has it in his book multiple times. Sorry about that. But Charlemagne has talked about this many times about his rape allegations. Now, recently, if you guys don't know, Charlemagne had the victim, the alleged victim, brought those charges back up, trying to sue him over those charges again. At the time, she was like 15, said that she was drugged and raped. Charlemagne was the prime suspect or whatever. So I'm thinking it was probably a cash grab because he's been so open about this allegation, and how do I explain this? He's been so open about these charges and this allegation for so long. I don't see how now you decide to come out about it or you try and sue him for anything. And I say all that because from his book, the way he described it was, he thought some of his friends and family, I don't remember, it was somebody he knew, he thought they were in trouble for supplying a party for booze. Well, it was Charlemagne's party. So whenever he thought that they were in jail for that, he went, turned himself in like, hey, I'm sorry. I was the one responsible for the party. I supplied all the alcohol and everything that was there. And the police department said, oh, we didn't know anything about that. There was a rape allegation going on. And then, we'll take that all into consideration. Then he was facing those rape charges because he went over there saying, I'm taking responsibility for this party, not realizing that there was a rape allegation going on, put himself in that fire. From my understanding, his charges were he did contribute to the delinquency of a minor with, booze and all that stuff. But he did do a DNA test that cleared him of the rape charge because he said he wasn't involved in it. That's from his book. If you want to go look at I forget what his book title is. It's not the Shook Ones one. What was Charlemagne's book? I can't remember it off the top of my head. If you give me 1 second, I can look it up because I had it. I thought it was a good book. If you guys didn't listen to it, but anyways, where I'm going with this, he's been talking about it. He talks about it on air. He talks about it in his book. He's not shy about saying that he's been accused of sexual assault before. And so for it to come back out now, I just thought it was crazy. I didn't know you could come back, or I didn't know what the grounds were for you to even say that say that he did anything, because like I said, he's never been really shy about saying what he's been charged with or how he got acquitted from it. But if you want to go look up his book, it's called Black Privilege. Check it out. You can read it for yourself, listen to it for yourself. I know I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's crazy. Some people were really saying like he's a rapist and he's whatever. And I don't, unless he, going off of what I know about the situation from the book, from his on-air personality and things like that, and the fact that he did take a DNA test to clear his name, I didn't see any, I couldn't believe that anyone thought otherwise as far as for like public eye opinion. I just seen some people on YouTube like going off on him saying like, I know how this works, and he took a plea agreement. Like he did again. He was throwing that party. He said he threw that party. He was mad at his friends because they were messing with him until they found out he was getting those charges, and I just thought that was crazy. And it's a real fucked up situation. You can look at it. You can look at it, everyone's side on it. Make up your own mind. For me, I found it interesting that it's no secret about him going through all that. He's talked about it for a long time. Again, he's been on the air, at least on the Breakfast Club, for about 7 years now. And he's not been shy about talking about that situation and how he takes some charges seriously. So you guys make up your own mind about that. I don't know. I personally, when I heard about those allegations, I was like, he talks about it all the time. I don't understand how you bring it back up. I think they've been the new charges that they were trying to give him on bringing it back up. The judge said in South Carolina, once you come up with an agreement, you can't come back on it. So he's acquitted nonetheless, but I just wanted to bring that up, that I think it's really crazy because he's, again, not shy about talking about it. I got some decent music news this week. There's a lot of new music out that I wanted to talk about, but before I start giving my music reviews, let's talk about Tiana Taylor. Like, I've talked about her new album, Keep That Same Energy album. She's got this song, my favorite song on the album, called Three Way. And a lot of people, obviously, when you do a song called Three Way, everyone wants to talk about it. Tiana Taylor right now on a promo tour, talking about her album, talking about Hit the Floor and all that stuff. Everyone is obviously asking her about the song Three Way. Is it real? And da-da-da-da. And she's given the, she's rehearsed. She knows what she wants to tell people. She is saying that it's a real situation. She is saying that she has, participated in 3 ways with her and her husband, Amon Shepard. Now, where I'm going with this is, one, I think the song is probably my favorite song on her album. But without that being said, my issue with this, I was just on social media, and I seen that someone was saying how, like, a week ago, Tiana and Amon were relationship goals. But now, after this interview, they think it was tasteless, and she's disgusting and disrespects herself and all this and that. And obviously, Tiana, being Tiana's like, get out of my sex life if you don't like it or whatever. Like, this is between me and my husband type shit, whatever. And I personally just don't understand, like, how anyone can say it's tasteless when Tiana is repeatedly said, I've seen multiple interviews at this point now, where she said, yes, it's a real situation. Yes, I did want this 3-way. No, I didn't do it because I wanted it, I'm trying to keep my husband. I said it because we've had crazy sex life prior to being married. Now that we are married, I want to have this 3-way and continue to have a wild sex life. She's explained that if she sees something that she wants to try, whether it's something on a porno or whatever the case is, wherever she's into sex, her and her husband are into it. They're into trying things. She's also said, we don't do this all the time. We don't do it, we don't let the girl hang out with us. We're not, best friends watching Hit the Floor or Amon and Tiana TV show. Like, they have their sex and then they send them on their way. They don't speak English, whatever the case is. I just think it's funny in the day and age where everyone wants to fight for equality. When you express your equality, they're still ridiculing you for being equal. Oh man, this world is crazy to me. Like, so at one point we wanted women sexually repressed. Don't talk about the things you do. And then finally girls get to a point where they can talk about their sexual conquest and be free about who they are, whether they're gay, straight, bi, whatever the case is. Now they're in this situation. It's okay for that. But then when they express, like, I really like to do this, now you guys attack them over it. I don't know, guys. Like, am I the only one that sees it like this? Like, I think it's crazy that, again, I mean, it's her sex life. I don't care what anybody's doing in their sex life personally. Like, yeah, if you're into three-ways or if you're into fivesomes, sevensomes, whatever the case is, gangbangs, whatever the case is, that's your personal business as far as for your preference. And, I mean, granted, she did a song about it, but if you don't like it, change it. That's my whole situation about all this stuff. If you don't like what they're into, they don't line up to your views, you can always change it, choose to ignore it, or whatever the case is. Like I said, I like the song. I think it's the best song. I'm personally, like, it's a good song. It's got Ty Dolla $ign, and I'm pretty much, if Ty Dolla $ign's featured on anything, it's probably like one of my favorite songs ever. So I thought the song was good. I personally didn't care one way or the other what her and her husband are doing, whether it could have been before she was married. I didn't care. It was a good song. But I just find it interesting that some people are just like, I can't be your fan anymore because of this, and like, why do you care what they're doing in their personal life? If they're married, if they're both happy with it and okay with it, who are you to be upset about it? Or why do you care that much to be upset about it, to at least take it to social media? Like, if you don't want to support them anymore after that, that's your business. That's fine. You can do that. That's your opinion. You don't have to, give your dollars to that person. But I don't know. Like, the only way I could see that, like, the way I look at this is like, R. Kelly is been accused of sex cults and child molestation and whatever. I don't know what the truth is, but I think there's enough evidence to say that he's done some very questionable things with some questionably aged women. And there's enough women that are at least at the point, whether they're little girls or grown women, that are saying, like, yeah, we've been in the sex cult, he's abused us. There's enough questionable offenses on him, whether they've been proven in court or not, that I won't support him. I won't play any of his music anymore. I won't, I just can't. And not in good conscience can I no longer listen to R. Kelly because of all these allegations that are going on. So I don't, because I don't want him to continue to make money off of me listening to his music. Now that's I don't care what he does in his personal business. I don't want to support him in any way so that he can continue to do these things. Now his things are illegal, so to me that's more extreme. What she's talking about doing is pleasurable sex between her and her husband. I don't have a problem with that. It's consensual sex between 2 or 3 adults, or however many adults they have involved. They're doing their thing. They're enjoying it. I can support that. Whether, even if I don't like it, I can be like, well, I don't like it, but they're doing their thing. If I was that. But I think I'm more open-minded than most people. I don't know. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent either, or even bring up R. Kelly in that, but that's music news. Let's see here. Where do I start? Okay, so we have some new music. I listened to most of the stuff that I'm going to talk about right here, but we're not gonna go all. No, I didn't review it all. Um, I'll let you know what I didn't review. So going off into this, if you guys don't know, Tinashe released a song over the weekend called "Like I Used to." It's a breakup song. I like Tinashe. I like most of the singles she drops. I like some of her. I liked her first album. I don't. Since then, I haven't really latched on to anything else since. But her singles have been consistent. Like she does decent singles. This "Like I Used to" song, I like it. It's not a party song. It's more vulnerable for herself. Um, like I said, it's a breakup song. It's different for her because she's usually doing either a party song or something upbeat, up tempo. So I kind of, it was something different for her, and I liked the direction she was going for because I think it was more real for her. So if you guys got some way to stream music, go ahead and check out that if you haven't heard it. Wiz Khalifa dropped Rolling Papers 2 if you haven't heard it. I never listened to Rolling Papers 1, but what I heard of Rolling Papers 2, it's laid back. I like it. Like it's not a, filled with a bunch of upbeat bangers or nothing like that, but he's got some features on there that I really enjoy. Obviously, I'm not gonna like everything that was on there, but he's got the song with Bone Thugs and Harmony I thought was dope. Obviously, if I hear anything with Bone Thugs and Harmony, for the most part, feature wise or whatever, I typically like it. Not everything. Bone has dropped the ball a few times on a few projects, especially individually, but as a group collectively, I pretty much like everything that they do. But anyways, yeah, this Rolling Papers 2, that he's got a song with Party Next Door. Is it Party Next Door? I know he's got one with Playboy Cardi. He's got Snoop Dogg on there. He's got pretty sure it's Party Next Door. But overall, like, for me, it's not my type of music. Like, Wiz Khalifa doesn't typically, like, I'm not his demo. But I listen to it just to get my honest opinion of it. I could throw it on and just kind of roll, driving around to it. Not necessarily something I would listen to on a regular basis, or, I'm running out the door to get. But I think it's a decent album. It's definitely one of those albums that could probably grow on me, if I listen to it more and more. But once through, I thought it was decent. Everyday Struggle kind of tore it apart, said it was trash because it was too long and it was a sequel and all that. Because I don't have anything to compare it to prior to it, maybe I'd feel different. But I personally thought it was decent. Like, I definitely liked it. Like, it wasn't the worst project. It's something I could listen to. If someone threw it on, I wouldn't be mad about it. My personal opinion. Moving on, Chief Keef dropped a new album called Mansion Music. Wasn't for me. I won't say that it was a horrible album. I can just tell you, in my opinion, I didn't like it. I don't care for the autotune that was used in it. I didn't care for the features that he had on it. The beat production I thought was decent, but I just feel like I don't think I'm a Chief Keef fan. I can't give a good analysis of it. I just know I went through. I think I made it through 3/4 of the album, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do this. It just wasn't for me. That's all I really got to say about it. Check it out if you're a Chief Keef fan. I'm not a huge, I'm a hip hop fan. I listen to it all just to give it a shot, see if I like it. If I don't, I have my artists that I really like, but overall, like, to me it's not for me. I can't say anything else about it. Shoreline Mafia has a new album called Traplantic. I was intrigued by the name, is why I checked it out. I don't know who Shoreline Mafia is, and I probably listened to about 5 or 6 songs off of it. And it is exactly as it says. It's Traplantic. It's 100% trap music. It's, very gangster sounding. If you're into that, this is the album for you. At this point right now, when I was listening to it, I wasn't in the mood to listen to trap music, really. I was just listening to it because of the name. And I think this is probably a truer to the trap sound, where it was like it's a darker album and darker beats, really, not darker album, but it has darker beats, and that's not really what I'm into at this moment. I'm not in a dark place personally for me to be like, yeah, this Traplantic is where it's at. But it it might be something I might go back and revisit. So check that out if you're interested in it. Childish Gambino dropped a couple songs. They're all right. I wasn't a big fan, but I could see how people would like them. Childish Gambino's new songs are called, the first one is called Feels Like Summer, and then the other one is Summertime Music. So check those out. I seen them in the R&B charts. I thought Childish Gambino was a rapper, but whatever. R&B music's good too. But yeah, they don't sound bad. They're decent. Again, it's not necessarily, I don't think I'm the demo for it, but check out Childish Gambino if you're interested, if you're a fan, whatever. LMA has remixes with the Boot Up. Obviously, this is going to be that song that we're never going to get the end of it, because everyone's going to make their remix on a remix on a remix. And the one, T-Pain did a verse on it. I seen it online. I listened to it. I really liked it. Like, T-Pain still is decent of an artist to me, for whatever reason. The industry, I don't know if it's his label, I don't know if it's him, whatever the case is, I feel like the industry is like, yep, T-Pain is out the door, we're not paying attention to him anymore. But T-Pain, I think, did one of the better remixes, in my opinion. So check that out if you're interested in it. LMA T-Pain Boot Up remix, check it out. But I guess the official remix, the one that I seen on Apple Music, was Nicki Minaj and Quavo. I think Nicki did a good job. Quavo was all right. My personal opinion, the LMA song could be just her. I don't really need a remix. But if I was gonna do I would take T-Pain's verse, and I'd take Nicki Minaj's verse and the LMA and mix it together, and that to me would probably be my remix that I think was the best. But that's two songs combining them, but I was just fine with the original. Again, just my opinion. And next up, Kiana, I don't know how to really say her name. I think her name is Kiana Ledee. I don't know, like her Ledee. I don't really know her name, like how to say her last name, but she's a singer. I found her on YouTube sometime in this last year. She had this song called I Choose You. I really like her vocals. Like, she's got a I don't know, she just does really good vocal range, in my opinion. It's something a little bit different. I don't hear a whole lot of auto-tune. I think it's like I like to find acoustic singers on YouTube, just because I think there's something special about someone that can actually do something acoustically and sound good. We do so much stuff with vocals, to auto-tune and all this stuff and clean up audio, and so when I hear acoustic versions of songs, like, I'm always thoroughly impressed, and I really like it. This is R&B music. Again, her name is Kiana Ledee, alias Leod Ledee. I don't know, but check her out. The album is called Selfless. I'm sure if you type in the title Selfless in Kiana, it'll probably pop up, or you'll be able to find it. But I listened to this album multiple times. It is really good. The best way I could describe her voice is she doesn't have the raspiness that you hear when you hear Kalani. So she's got a more clear voice than that, but she kind of reminds me of a clear voice Kalani. I think she really shines best when she does acoustic versions. But I seen her on, like I said, I seen her on YouTube, and I couldn't really find any albums or any mixtapes or anything like that of her. But I just seen a bunch of videos on YouTube. Apparently, in my research of her yesterday, she was on Scream on MTV. So she's an actress. I think she was I want to say she was a Disney or Nickelodeon actor too before that. But I think when she was acting, she went by Kiana Brown, and now she goes by her middle name as a singer. From what I could see on Wikipedia, I don't know how that works or whatever. But yeah, she sounds to me a lot like Kalani's music, just without the raspy voice that Kalani has. So if you're interested in R&B music, I highly recommend this album. Like, to me, it's pretty good. And she's got a remix out with ASAP. I don't know, one of these ASAP. I think it's ASAP Rocky. It could be someone else from ASAP crew, but she's got a really good EP. Like I said, I've listened to this thing. It's probably right now my favorite R&B album of the year, or EP of the whole year. Like, I've listened to a lot of I listen to a lot of music. I have my subscriptions, multiple subscriptions that I listen to music through, and this one, new music wise, she's definitely one of these new artists that I'm watching for, listening to. It's a 21-minute album. Fair Play, I think, is a song that's kind of growing right now, and it's ASAP Ferg is the remix that she's got out right now with him. But like I said, 7 songs, very, very good songs. I personally like the song X, but the project as a whole is like, it's dope. I really like it. I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for new music, she is somebody to check out. I'm always looking for new music. Like I said before, when I look for music, like everyone else is sneakerheads or technology people, I am that person looking for music that everyone isn't on yet. I am always looking for the hottest and the newest, and I think she's somebody to be paying attention to. I think she's gonna be, I think at this rate she could be somebody we'll be talking about, in 2 or 3 years. Really, I mean, she's growing her name now. I think she'll surpass a lot of these people that are out here with songs. That is my big push this week, is for you guys to check her out. I really do like her. She's got one of these. I think she's very talented personally. Check her out. Again, I'm more into rap or whatever, but if you're looking for some new R&B, something that not everyone's listening to yet, I'm telling you guys, check her out. I do want to get into one more thing before I get out of here. There's another artist. I've seen her, like, she's a YouTube personality. She was with her husband, Chris Sales, and her name, they were once married. Queen, I don't know how to say her. I think it's Naya or Naja. She's a YouTube personality, and again, her and her husband, Chris Sales, were on YouTube together. They've separated recently in the last year or so, and now they're both doing their own thing. But that's not really important. She did a song where she was talking about him cheating on her, and it blew up. And from what I can tell, because she's been doing a small press run, she's now on Capitol with her song Medicine, which again is a song where she's talking about him cheating on her and how she's giving him a dose of his own medicine or whatever. I thoroughly loved that song when I first heard it. It might have been the drama behind it that made me really like it, but I seen it on a trending video on YouTube, and then I really liked it, and then I found out that he kind of had his response to it, and I thought that was kind of dope. I got caught up in that, and I was watching it for a couple of weeks. But now at this point, like, I'm seeing her kind of do these press runs. I seen she was on Real in California, and I forget where else. I just seen a couple little small clips of her doing like real short interviews with some people, and I find it cool that she's kind of blowing up musically, because I think she's got a really good voice, has a really good song. She's got a new song called Karma. Check that out if you're interested in it. This week I went into R&B just because I'm always talking about the new rap albums and whatever, and I kind of wanted to get more into some R&B just to kind of give some recommendations and things that I'm listening to right now. Like I said, there was a lot of good albums or music that came out that I wanted to kind of review. So this week, I hope you guys like the music that I talked about. Check it out if you haven't, if you want to listen to it. I just want to touch, like, I'm not doing, when I talk about this music, I'm either talking about music that I'm interested in because I like it, or maybe you don't know that these albums exist or these artists exist, and I'm just trying to bring some light to it to show there's alternatives to things that are out there, because I don't know, I think radio is late on what is popular. I think radio right now is trying to keep up with the internet, and it's a dying form, and that's why we have so many syndicated radio shows now, and all the radio stations play the same music, because we're at a point where they can't really keep up with what's hot. So I listen to a lot of music. I want to know what's good and what's not. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. And so I try to give everything a shot. I listen to it all. But I know what's my taste. And when I do these reviews, I'm strictly going off my own personal review, like on things that I like. And I feel like if you are similar minded to the things that I like, you'll probably like the things that I like. And if you're not, sorry. Hopefully you guys find something else. I'm not, maybe I'm not your tastemaker. I'm not the person that's, in looking for music for you. But I do just, like I said, I'm just trying to bring light to some people that I think are good, or maybe some people that are good and have been out for a while, and maybe you just don't follow them closely to know when new things are. From my experience of talking to people, when I ask them, have you heard this or have you heard that, I find that a lot of people didn't know because of where we are. If you're not following them on social media, or if you're not, actively checking for this music, you don't know that it comes out. And so I think you fall behind, and you don't know what's, going, and maybe it doesn't trend as well, or whatever the case is. But because, like I said, I've always been someone into music. I'm always looking for the new and the hot and what's good and whatever. And so maybe that's why I know when a lot of this stuff comes out. Some things do slip by. I never heard of them. I don't know if it's not charting. Maybe I don't see it, but I go through new music. I look for it. If I'm on Instagram or Twitter and I see an artist that, says that they're an artist or whatever the case is, maybe it's a new song that's trending, maybe it's them tweeting or whatever the case is, I see them, I check out their music, I'll give it a shot, even if it's, it could be Billy Bob from Oklahoma, and I was like, well, he says he's an artist, let me see what he sounds like, and I'll give my honest opinion on what I think about him, whether I'm going to listen to him or not, and things like that. I'm not looking for recommendations at this point, but I'm just saying, like, I try to, I'm an artist myself, so I try to give everyone a listen. If it's someone that I like, I will give recommendations. I'm not doing this, I don't get no money for it. I'm still doing this all for the love of it and the attention of it, and I'm enjoying this, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun doing it. Like I said, I'm doing my research and things like that. Hopefully you guys like this. Let me see if I have anything. I shut down my Sleepy J Airbit this week. I'll be coming with a new one, but you can still, if you're looking for beats, you can still go to sleepyj.com/beats. I have beats there. But the Airbit account for Sleepy J is being shut down. I have something new real soon. Aside from that, I think that's pretty much it, guys. This has been fun. Follow me on Instagram at SleepyJ. That's SleepEJ. Follow me on Twitter at sleep_E_J. If you guys want to, interact with me, talk with me, tag me, you want to hashtag Sleep Talkin Podcast so I can see that. If you guys have questions, you guys want to text me, call me, tweet me, Instagram me, DM me, please do. I'm enjoying the interaction. If you guys want to find my Sleep Talkin Podcast on Facebook, like it, drop a comment on there. Next week, before I get out of here, I also want to tell you guys next week I will be, this weekend I'm going to Dallas. And when I'm in Dallas, I will have somebody, maybe I'll have an artist, maybe I'll have somebody in Texas will be on this podcast for next week. And I might drop it early. I might drop it Tuesday. I don't know. Like I'm going to record it sometime Saturday or Sunday, and it might get dropped that day. But it'll be up by Tuesday for sure. But I'm going to, a new guest. It's always fun having a guest. We'll talk music. We'll talk topics in the news and things like that. So please, guys, stay tuned and please continue to spread the word about my podcast if you like what I'm doing. Please leave some comments. Go to wherever you're listening to it. Leave comments, rate it, do all that good stuff. Help me get the word out. Sleep Talkin Podcast, guys. Until next time, I salute you guys, sending peace, love, positivity, and lots of prayers to you guys. I am out. I appreciate you guys.